Alright, so today's session we're going to work on rondos, but position-specific rondos, working on either your 6 as you're holding mid, receiving the ball, or your 8 and 10 trying to find space. So it's more to do with kind of what we set up in here is usually what everybody kind of has with their rondo moments, and then kind of trying to put some coaching points into there and kind of then streamline it to what you guys need to work on in your teams. So it's pretty simple in here. So I'm going to get started. So. Okay. Alright, so we're going to do this. Listen, there's 12 of you and there's odd numbers. I'm going to use 10 first. I'm going to use 10 of you first, and then we'll rotate around. So what I need is in each square, so if it's a square, that's a square. It's going to be 2v2 plus 1, so 5 players. So I need 2 in green, 1 in pink, 2 in black. Go. So I need 10 players. Go this side over here. Use this square here. So 2 will sit out. Back there. Okay, so you two are going to be feeders for me. So you stay there as a feeder, you stay this side as a feeder for me. Okay, so nice simple, put your pinnies on. The person in pin plays with the team in possession. Okay? No limit touches, just moving the ball around. Nice and simple, okay? We've got 2 feeders at the end. They're just going to play some balls in. When you're ready, let's play.
Pink is neutral.
Yeah, just 2v2 plus 1.
And then a couple of rotations to switch out one of the black. Okay, and breathe. So, 2v2 plus 1, that's 3v2 in here with a neutral. Okay, so, think about how we can use our neutral player now. I'm asking you that question. How can we use our neutral player? Not all at once, boys. Play off him. What else? Combinations, what else? Okay, so let's do this. Forget your name, what's your name? Jake, go stand in the middle. What's your name? Patrick. Patrick, go a little bit wider for me. Go over here. Okay, so if you leave the pink in the middle, right, the pink's always your option in the middle. And you can create what shape with the pink? Triangle. Okay? So for now, for the next 2 minutes, the pinks, you are not allowed to move out of the center. I want you just to stay in there. Okay? And the rest of you, I want you to play exactly the same. If you win the ball, play your players, try and create triangles. When you're ready, play. First one's for free, first one's for free, first one's free. You know what?
Too much of a target.
That's flat. Actually, Chris, bring that one back. That one's flat.
Yeah, turn.
Yeah.
Back up, bring in possession. Okay, so think about the game now, right? He's got 2 on the pink now. Where can you go right and try and finish that? What can you do? He's going to play through it. So where can you use? Okay, you give a drop option, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Triangle's too small, right? So we're trying to play it off it. So you've got to think Kevin saying in the corner over there? What did he say to the team in possession? Coach getting shut out.
You said keep it at one point?
Right? What's happening right now is every time you're getting the ball, you're just trying to force it to an area where you're turning the ball over every time. That's why there's so many balls down around, you're not paying attention. So be disciplined in there. The blacks, if you're defending right now, just be disciplined in understanding that if one presses, one has to cover the two players. And that's where you will see openings happening. Understand? So let's move out, change the black in here for me. When you're ready, same thing again, pick, stay still, let's go, play. Seconds, keep it going, keep it going. It'll make sense in a minute. That's what we're doing. Okay, and freeze. So, pinks. It's hard for you, right? So I've literally anchored you down in one position. So it's easy for what right now? It's easy for the who? Defending team. Why? Exactly. Yes? So they know where they're going to be. So now, for the next 2 minutes, pinks, you now get free roam. But try and keep that shape, that triangle shape. So now you have to look at the team in possession, and then if they lose the ball, can you adjust now to the other team? Are you ready? Play. How much easier was it now with the pink moving? Much easier. Why? Why is it easier now with the pink moving? You have more options, yeah? So now what are we asking the pink player to do? Get a position. What else? Find a space. What else? So you're asking that pink to make sure that they still are creating that triangle shape. Because right now, so Ryan, just go stand over here. Stay where you are. You two. Right now, let me keep the right. There, right now, you're in a straight line. And in a game, you can't move the ball, right? And now you're asking the pink now to understand where can you go now to find some space. There. Good. So now you're asking that pink now to start looking up and identifying spaces to play. So you have to think about it in the game. In the midfield, who are we asking to find space in the game? Centre mid, the 6, yes? Asking the 6 and the 8 to find some space for us to play through it. So, for coaches, this is where you can train your 6 to try and find some space in between the 2 centre forwards. Your 8, you're attacking mid to try and find some space in behind the back 4, or in behind the opponent's back 4, for them to find space for them to link up. And so, today, like I said, we're working on position-specific rondo. Rather than just telling them, hey, just to keep the ball and move, now you're putting some context into that rondo moment. Okay? So what I want you to do, under that cone there, there's 4 blue cones under That one there is 4 Booluck cones. Grab them for me. Grab the 4 cones. Okay, make a square in the middle of the square, the orange square. Not that big, not that big. Make it about 5 steps. Small square. I like to get the kids to do this because it's funny to see yourself in squares. Some of them look like Coach Kevin trying to draw a square. Okay, so now we can use the extra player in. So what I need you to do now is I need you to take your penny off. Okay. I need you to go and grab a green, put it on. Same thing with you, you go and grab a green, put it on. You give me that, and then the other person stepped in already. Okay, put me 1 black, 1 green in the blue square. Okay, so now, same drill. The 2 in the middle are not allowed out of the square. You are not allowed in the square to win the ball off them. What you're trying to do now, the 2 in the square is trying to link up with your team's play. If it's not on to find them, don't worry about it, keep the ball. Okay? And then we'll put in coaching tips in the square right now. When you're ready, let's play. And free, stand still. Perfect opportunity here, in here. Okay, so, where are you guys right now? Okay, so you're all bundled up. So how can you now, black in possession, how can you stretch that defender to create space? Okay, so now all of a sudden you stretch it, but now if you think about it, play the ball to him, step across the ball. That's what's going to happen. So think again, what can you do to manipulate him? Once again, play the ball to him, step to the ball. Still stepping too quickly. So think, what can you do to manipulate him first? There, then what can you do with it? Show it.
Push it.
Just don't push him, but where are you trying to create the space? Okay, so look what Coach Rogers telling you to do. Go back with him. There we go. So now you've created that space now, opened up for us now to play. So when you play him, I want you to move into the space here. Go back. Right. So now you kill it away. Play him. Play the 1-2. Go on and play the 1-2. There. So now all of a sudden now, that small area, you have stretched it for us to get out. So now in there, rather than just standing still or trying to just stand in front of the defender when we're here, can we start pushing that defender back a little bit, creating that space, go on and ball. There, and then we can lay it. Oh my goodness. Someone's in my eye. The ball. Right, the ball. I'm used to an egg. So can you now make sure you try and stretch it and create those spaces for you to play. Right, when you're ready, let's go, let's play. Good. There we go, well done. Next ball. Blind ball. Let's go. Grab another one. Let's go, play. More seconds in the game. We're taking 2 in the middle. Okay? Patrick's playing over there. Patrick's playing. Everyone's trying to find him in the space over there already. And they used to coach Rogers High School 1-on-1. If in doubt, kick it out. Yeah. Okay, and freeze. Switch out the 2 in the middle. Same thing again. So now I'm going to ask you a question, boys. If we stretch it, do we still need to play that player? No. So I want you now to think about the game. If we stretched it and we don't need to play him, what can we do in the square? else is the most simple thing that you should do when you don't need to play it. You can dribble the ball. Don't just think we're in a possession drill in here that we just need to play the ball every time. If you have the space, look for a space, dribble into it and reset again. When you're ready, let's go, play.
Yeah, good. No way.
Think about it, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it. Try and create the space for you. And freeze. What's your name again? Leighton. You've got to stretch the defender. Ball stuck here. And by you just standing still in here, doesn't give them space to play. As soon as you start pushing, what's your name? Straight back, so okay, back there. There now, they now need to think, okay, do I need to cut this pass off, or do I need to mark it? Now they have to think, now they're thinking, oh crap, I have one option here. If you stay on top of him, very simple. That's why I'm asking you, continue to move, continue to stretch it. Whatever that ball is, stretch it. When you're ready, let's go, play. Stretch it, go, push back, here we go.
That's Holland. I like that.
And freeze. Okay, boys, just go and grab a drink for me. We're going to come straight back to here. Go and grab a drink whilst I talk to the coaches. So, that's just a very basic thing where you can now train either your 6, your 8, your 10 to try and find some space when they're playing either low pressure on you or high pressure and they're bulking up that midfield. So trying to make sure that they try and find some space. So, obviously I've only asked them now to just create that space. Now the next part is obviously checking in, checking out. You can work on that movement, and then the next part is playing off them and their body shape. So that's what we're going to work on next now in here, is their body shape. And the reason why I prefer to use stuff like this is it's very small, there's a lot of reps, and we've all done rondos where forget it about what's going on in here, they just move the ball around. But they're moving the ball around, but they're not really thinking about the game. They're not really thinking about, oh, in my position, what should I be doing? So you could use this, like I said, to train your centre forward to find spaces. Your midfielders, your wingers. How can your wingers start stretching the field? So I use this specifically, say for today, I'm using it on the 6 and the 8. You can then adapt it to whatever position you're working and use that then in your drills, in your sessions. Any questions on that one? Well, since Karen's gone back.
I have a question.
Yep.
So, all right, so you've got the 3v3 going, and you know we have some of our teams that struggle with the ability to dribble.
Mm-hmm.
So, how would you help it out? Would you add in a neutral, or would you add in like players around the perimeter of the square to give them extra?
So the next
targets?
part is what I look to do is I start with this, and you can tell already it's all over the place. Then the next part is it's going to build out where it's going to be, you can have 2 neutral players either side,
Okay.
and they have to play through them, and then we're going to go back to this again.
Okay.
So then, if they get better.
Okay.
Now, hopefully, they get better, but you can adapt the space as well. So this is 15 by 15, you can make it 20 by 20, and give them a lot more time. Or you can, what I've done with the girls is I have actually made it smaller and much harder for them, because then now they're going to have to think about the space, and then I've expanded it and then brought it back in again. So you can adapt it too. That's what you need to. All right, boys, let's go. Gone to goal. I usually set this up on the edge of the box, edge of the halfway line. Do is try and find the space. Means I try and find some space, and then bam, you're in. And then usually I do it. You find your space, and you find your wingers and your wing space. Okay, so set up again. Change your 2 in the middle. 2 in the middle. Okay, so I'm asking you guys obviously to now create space, right? And so how am I asking you to create the space? Okay, so try to push that defender back, so we're trying to create that space. So now, you're going to now think about the visual cues. So say now Ryan's pushing, what's your name? Dylan, go back here. Pass me the ball, Rafi. Thank you, sir. So now the visual cues. Okay, so now, Peyton, I want you to start here. And I want you to just drift us away over here. So now, can you use cues to get out of it? So cues on now, he's stretched it. Okay? So Dylan, when the ball goes to Ryan, I just want you just to knock the ball to the side, that way, Dylan to get out. Ready? Run it there, Dylan run. There, and then we're out. Big run, Dylan. And again, give it that pace again. Go. And we're out. So, now you're working on, can you now still create that triangle, but reading visual cues? Because in a game, just go back here again where you two are, Peyton, just go there. That there is what we have a lot in the game. And it's predictable, right? It's very predictable going there, so now this defender can step or he can step and win it. But if he starts in behind now and sees this happening, so now I'm asking the players on the outside to think about the game. The ball goes into Ryan, Peyton, go! There. So now we're able to get out of it by moving and thinking about the game. I don't just want you just to stand still and create those triangles. I want you now to adapt to it, so if we see Ryan there, and I'm standing here, can I then move into that space? So use the space around you. You understand? Don't just focus on here and just think, oh, I'm just going to stand still and try and create triangles. Can you move to create them? Okay? But it's how does it work though? So Ryan, go back there. Follow him. Hey, go stand behind him. Level. This is where we were just a minute ago. That there, just drop in there. That there, we can't get out. So now your options go here. Right? But if you stretch it, like I said, if you start stretching it now, defenders drop with it, cover it. Now play pace again. There, that's the cue. So you have to now watch the person in the middle to see that space open up for you. Rather than just focusing on the ball, because that's what we do a lot in the game. We just focus where the ball is and we follow it. Like a dog. There's the ball. It only takes a split second to look up, see the space, and adjust to it. Okay? When you're ready, 2 minutes, I'm not going to stop you now. Go, play.
Yeah.
Push it back. Oh, there we go, good boy. Give it. Leave it, give it on. Yeah. Now it's right. Jackson, get in front of him, Jackson. Push him back. There's nothing wrong with using your body here, boys. I'm Coach Kevin. Look up, boys. Don't just look at where the ball is. Don't look just where the position is. Look where you need to go. Good. There we go. Combos, there. So if you see now that's success, because now they're thinking about the game, they're starting to think about combinations. And so if you think about just rondos, trying to coach that in a rondo situation is difficult, right? But if you break it down and make it a little bit more simple for them to understand those little cues, you start getting success. And all of a sudden now, we're keeping the ball a bit more. I'll say that, but just keep that out. Edit that, Trent, edit it. We keep the ball. Keep it going, boys, keep it going. 20 more seconds, keep it going.
Go back to the office, late hours.
Ryan, put him away, put him away, put him away. There we go, big boy. Go on, Prowse, get him away, get him away. Come on, Prowse. Oh, leg horse.
Dude.
Great space, push back, push back.
There we go, yeah.
Good step there, Jackson.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
And freeze. 30 seconds over. Trial. Okay, we had success over here. I didn't watch this group that much. Okay, so we had success of understanding when we're moving away, creating that space. Now, we've asked you now obviously to stretch it. What other movements now when you've stretched it can you do now to create space? So he stretched you, go back. Go back with him. So what can you do now? What's your name again? Nick, what can you do now to create space for you now? Check in, check out, yes? So now, this is where it's important now that you understand that if you stretch it, can you check in and check out? But then what else do you have to think about? Your body shape. Your body shape when you're checking in, checking out. So when you've checked in, checked out, your body shape. Because if I check in, check out, and I'm still like this with you, where's the ball going to go back 9 times out of 10? Back. So if I check in, check out, and open my body up now, passing the ball, I can now go either way. You understand? So now work on your body shape. You've stretched it, check in, check out, and change your body shape to make sure you're able to connect with your partner, with your team. When you're ready, play. So then, like I said, now you can add different things and different layers and stuff like that to it. Right. It's a sandpit here, it's a sandpit. Yeah. Good. So think about the first part. We checked in and checked out. What are we asking our teammates to do? What are we asking our teammates to do who are outside the square, outside the blue square? Say it. Great angles. Read what we're doing in there as well. So if I see us checking in, checking out, and we're staying high, then yes, then we're going to bounce it. If he's checking in, checking out, and changing his shape, can we then move the ball and create the angles? Rather than just going back to just keeping the ball and kicking it, can you read those cues? I am asking you to get your head up and look. You have to start training yourself to look up to see what's going on rather than just focusing on the ball and where you are. How many players are on the field? See the game, how many players are on the field? 22, yes? Yes? So there are 22 players running around. How are you going to find space in that game? That's what I'm asking you to do in here. Break it down, think about it. This is what happens in a game in here, yes? This is a small section of the game. That's a small section of the game. That's what a rondo is, a small section of the full picture of the game. So even though it's small and tight in here, you should be able to find the space. We don't do rondos half field, right? Okay, when you're ready, let's go, play. Good, there we go, communication, that's what I want. Good.
Hey, what's behind him?
More time, that's what I like.
Multi-ball.
So anyway we win. More time, ball action. So anyway we win. Just throwing the ball in there. Okay, and freeze. So, now what I want you to do is pick up the blue square. Think about what we have just worked on to try and create some confined space. Hopefully now, this part should be better than what we did in the first 2 minutes. Should be better, yes? You say yes, coach? Yes, sir. Alright. Same thing. Now all of you are live. You should be able to now move your defender and create angles, find space for us to move the ball. When you're ready, play. If this doesn't work, Trent, you edit it out and you put like Real Madrid will do it, okay?
I'm gonna show the main game.
When they're in that box, just get that focus about it. Could you add an extra number? Have you added an extra number for one team to be something man so that they can always
Alright, and that's why I've left the pennies here. I'm going to make it one team. Next player in a minute.
And that's higher level, obviously take that player out, right? And then you can be able to figure it out. Okay.
Okay, so let's break it down a little bit because we're not paying attention. Put a pink on. Put a pink on. So now, one team's down and one team's going to be up with a player, with an extra player. Possession team always plays. So the way we're going to do it right now, possession team will always play with a pink. Okay? Ready? Play.
Yeah, one.
Good. Let's cover. Good. Coach said he's got another session after this. So. Okay, and free. Change the pink with one of the blacks. Okay, so think about going back to what we were doing. The team that are up in numbers, think of where you can put your extra player for us to be able to play. I'm not going to give you the answer. All you're going to do is think about it. When you're ready, play. Where you put your extra player. And freeze, because Jake's hurting. One purple to stand in between these two orange cones here. One purple in between those two orange cones. One purple against those two orange cones. Then I need one pink, one green in the middle. And then the rest of you on the outside, go. Not on the outside, but inside the big square. So now, And you can adapt this to your drill. If you have goalkeepers, you can use these as goals. You can goalkeepers to stand there, whatever. So in here now, a bigger picture of what we've done smaller. Same thing in here is we are trying to combine in the middle and trying to find one of the outside players. So if the ball comes in from this side, I must either find 1, 2, or 3. I can't go back to there to get a point. Understand? That's the only rule. The ball must stay on the ground. Knee high. Yeah? Yeah. Play ball with Coach Kevin. Right.
Yeah, they can't leave the area, nobody can enter that area. But it's just, but it's just finding that target.
Get a point, you must combine with your middle
But that's the
person.
thing, so it's like, is that your 6 in a build-out center? Is that your 9 as you're trying to get forward, you know? So it's just, it's a really good player, and then, you know, how do you want to basically start like, what do you want to call it, you know? So for me, it should be like, hey, this is my 6, falls into my center back, but then 6. So he's checking here, you know, he's going to get that like kind of how he's finding it, you know, yeah. So it's like, what's your trigger? What's your trigger based on everything you know from you as a player?
Outside players. Right? But you can't win the ball off the outside players. And you still, to get a point, you must go through the middle and out to a different side to get a point. Think about the game in here. You go, try and find some space, try and push your way. You push it again. Patrick, try and find some space for you to be able to play. Square's big enough for you to be able to check in, check out. It's big enough for you to move him. Are you ready? Play. We haven't got a point yet.
But I think that's what even wants. It's like with these things, you really emphasize
Let him go in.
these players on the outside, big stuff.
Which I love, but my thing is, why do you want to put emphasis on finding him with the ball? Yeah. Right? Why do you emphasize on
For me, it would be like, if I'm doing this, I'd be like, hey, it's a point for every combination. So we're going to find him and get out.
but you're still incentivizing that in the game?
Play wide. Open.
Point. Now point.
Yeah.
One. That's one.
And there's a player right there. There's a player right there. And you're saying it's really still in it. I would recommend
Switch it.
Look at Nick.
So, it's getting a bit hectic. So now think, how can we take some time in it, or give us time for us to play when we're in possession? What can we do? If I'm on the ball, what can we do to give us time for us to be able to play? Take space, dribble. Well, you should dribble it now. You should be able to reset rather than just losing it and forcing it, because we're still losing soft balls around because all we're doing is forcing the ball. When you're ready, play. Yeah, there we go. It's just a space. It's the time. Okay.
This is my struggle. I want to find this trigger.
Let me ask you this. Yes, I'm saying, right, if you want to strike, you're going to walk.
So that would be, I think I would make this a
Boy Hayden, go for it.
I don't know if I'd never do it, but I would say,
Because I've been always waiting for a big shot. I want more of these.
Okay, referee, switch to 2 in the middle. Purples, switch out with pink. Quickly.
So I think I've done something similar to this. I'm like, you gotta play like yeah, sure. It's a good start.
So,
Like in the ones where I'm like, for receiving it.
so if he's on 6 in the
try to go from one side to the other, or one side to this way. Yes. I'm not here, right? If I just stand here, I can't get the outlet. But if I start shielding Hayden now and moving it, breaking it, when I'm playing the ball there, I can get out there nicely.
Yeah, so that's what happened in
You
the
understand? So that's why I'm asking you in here now. Think about your body shape, how you can help your team to get out from one area to the next. You got to think about the game. If he's playing the ball 9 out of 10, why is he playing the ball?
yeah.
Pressure. He's got pressure on him, yes? He does not want this. That in a game. So he's not going to do
you
that.
can still defend it here, defend it.
Okay? So that's why I'm asking you now. Pay attention. So if the ball goes in, tuck it in there. What's your name again? Huh? Noah. Not if I know I can just do this with my body shape and then play him, or this, or even look to play Ryan, I can change my body shape for there for me to be able to play him. Okay? Think about your shape. Ready? Set.
I understand better.
Yeah.
So when we did that on the smaller one,
Keep that in the video.
Good boy.
that was always like, that always
Good. There we go. Well done.
So that's what I'm going off of.
That's
My
better.
price always
Come on, keep it now, Prince. Come on. Keep it there. Good. I like that. Good.
Yeah, so if I'm building a
So this is the 6 matchup.
so I want him to go. Yeah, because if you're a center back,
And that's what I kind of like, yeah, if I can back him up, and then check in at the end zone, if they don't spread wide.
Yeah.
but then I
So
also
you go
play
center
with
back.
and then like I play with 2 6s.
Sure. But it's still painful, right? Because you'll be fine
Yeah,
if 6 there.
exactly. So I have a target 6, and depending which way we're going, option come in. But in terms of so it's not like because that was a big part of this. It's not we're just running around in here. It's like hey, we're creating space for using the defender. So.
Alright, so.
Which space you need?
Take round again.
A couple of girls.
And you should sit somewhere.
Told you that's why.
Yeah, she did. Forgot.
Look after it.
So it's like we don't have to play to that player. It's like the incentive is that. It's like, I'm right there doing things to my head. That wasn't the best of things, you know what I mean?
Oh, but it's so tough to like, what do you do? Because at the same time, it's like,
Right.
if you're being realistic, that's really not the same thing. Like, what do you want to do? If you want to get in the most reps possible in a controlled environment to execute on this, then do it.
Right.
It's just not realistic for the surrounding players. Because you're a manufacturer.
Sure.
That's what training is. You're manufacturing.
So for me, it's like, if I'm going for 10 minutes in there, I'm gonna get 2 or 3 of the moments where it's like, because we've got a couple of, yes, like that's the ball to the target, we've been, or the play out. I'm happy with it. It's like, I just look for this, like, create chaos within your session with kind of interactions with it, you know? If that makes sense.
Just go a little bit back. Okay, so right, he's touch tight to you now. Okay, so now you have to make sure you play with him. That's what happens in the game when we're not paying attention with the touch tight, we lose the ball. When the ball comes to you, I want you just to put the ball outside your foot, and then running outside. And if you want to play him, outside, go. And then get out of that situation. Understand? So, that's why I'm asking you in here to not forget what we worked on in here, the small stuff, but it's how do I get out? What can I do to get out?
But yeah, we're always going to come into these, see a session.
What's the point of playing Ryan when it's 3-1? So where can we play? There. Make an option now. Play an option. Play reliance. Don't just
Because it's so hard to get, it's hard to do it. That's a point. So you've incentivized it already. And you're like, hey, don't, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, I was saying I would do a point system. I'm not certain question. I don't think it would be a point system. It's just possession. Like, I wouldn't even say you have to find this guy. I agree with that. Yeah, why are they trying to do that? Yeah, you can't be like, why are you doing it? Yeah, we spent half an hour doing that. Yeah, I agree with that. So if it was just finding the right move, I don't think this is roughly going back to what you said. Yeah, I know, so it's like how are you going to do it? So it's like my version before this, I'm going to leave it. They find it great. And they're just jostling each other. Yeah, I agree. Because if it's just like, because if me and you are fighting as like a striker and a center back, and like our right back has the ball, we're just like, right. I'm like I'd be sitting there, it's like, hey ref, we gotta stop this.
That's why
That's an off the ball foul.
You're playing music over this, right?
No. I crank up. Oh yeah, the audio. Yeah.
Alright, so let's say Jake, good. Green on, give me another green. You two on the outside there. Six on, go. Give me another green, buddy. Green.
Ideal high press.
So now, directional. Okay, so earlier on you can play
play the centre, and your line's there. Pinch, your line's this way. I need a pick in the middle, by the way. So for 2 minutes now, it's a little bit more directional. So now you have to think about your shape when you receive the ball, which direction you are going to get out. It must go all the way through, must connect, must connect. Ready? 2 minutes, play.
No, that's a point. That was a point.
They don't count, they don't count. Play, one there.
Little. That's fair. That sounds like it's a choice on your end.
Turn. Look, Yemi.
Because now this is more realistic because we're not just on top, you know what I mean? The highlight of this entire session with this group is being perfect. Sometimes just like how depending on your bases on things, but then I think you're getting on ahead with, but you provided something.
Right, it doesn't matter who they are, but their bodies are sitting in the same.
But I mean, you could relate that to any point.
Hey, let's go, boy.
Oh, you gotta find him.
You can tell he plays for us.
There it is. Just keep your eye on the ball and see how he adjusts his position.
You can now make it into a normal game here where you are trying to find your players and white players.
It's like center back in the six.
So if Ryan ends up over there, Kilo can end up around there. If you end up here, somebody ends up here. So you always keep your options open rather than everybody use Kapat and we're not using the for the square. Okay? Think about the game. Let's play. Last 3 minutes. There we go. See, now we've got the options.
So it's kind of good. If the middle's on all, but it does have to go. Is that to get to the people in the middle or just through the middle? To the players in the middle. So we're just looking for that combination of sense where it started with middle players. We need to create space within the middle. To now, hey, play now. Then the emphasis went to player movement off the movement of the player in the middle.
Let me just through the line.
Oh, I got you. We're just kind of debating it because it's like, okay, yeah, well, we've spent 30 minutes saying you have to perform this in the middle now. It's
Let's play. Whilst we're moving.
My biggest one is, it is not, how do I say it? It's not, hey, this is a certain thing that we've been working on that we need to do. It's just one of the things where I have seen, and I'm taking it from what I said in my environment, but what our environment is where you see a lot of rondos in sessions and in warm-ups, and then we try and translate that into our sessions, and it kind of breaks down because we don't have the understanding, not the understanding, sorry, that's wrong. We're not focused on what we're trying to work out or what we're trying to look to do in the sessions from those rondo moments. So everybody has their opinions, everybody has their thoughts and stuff, and that's why the main reason of doing this is to spark your kind of your thoughts about what was there. For me, I did it focusing on the 6, 8, and 10. You can obviously change it to whatever you want. And the reason why I wanted to do this type of session today was to give you guys an opportunity to look at it and say, hey, I can take this and work on this with certain teams. I can do this and do that with my teams. So there's no right or wrong. Probably there's a lot of wrongs with me doing it, so just be nice to me. But this is how kind of I lay it out. So obviously the first part was a 3v2 plus 1. So we had a 1 neutral player. And the reason why I always try and start with this is I always see this as like the basic of what to go back to, because it's what the kids usually try and do all the time. So it's a 3v2 plus 1. We all saw it in the first 2-3 minutes. The rotation, balls are going everywhere, kids weren't finding space, balls were getting knocked off each other, etc., etc. So I kind of then flipped it to try and kind of manipulate the situation with the 1 in the middle. So I told the +1, the neutral player, that they must stay central. And so then that now forced the other team, the defending team, to kind of know where the ball was going, and forced the other players now to think about their positioning. So I kind of did it that way first to kind of try and manipulate into the next part. And like I said, the next part then, I made a 1v1, and that's where I was kind of coaching the 6 or the 8 or the 10, whichever you want to do, in there and trying to find space. You know, their body shape, using the physical side of the game. I think that's a part that we don't really coach enough. Here, so when it was a 1v1, that's why I was asking the defender, the person in possession, team possession, can they use their body to create space? And I think that's where you can then change that to what your session is of asking your players then how they use their body to create that space. And then obviously, the way we did it was I said to them, hey, you need to pull away and drag them away, try and pin them. And obviously that leads into either an 8 or a 10 or your number 9, and then focus on how you pin a defender. So you can coach that. And then the same thing is with our 6 and our 10, or our 6 especially I see when we're trying to play out, and a lot of us have seen obviously Pep Guardiola try and play out the back, and so everybody now thinks that's a novelty that we have to try. We have to try and play out the back. And so then we're forcing kids now to receive the ball, but they're still receiving the ball wrong body shape, wrong angle, support, and we turn the ball over so many times in dangerous areas, literally on top of our box, and we can see goals. Because our kids just don't know how to read it, how to move their arms to one side so they can see where the defender is, or whatnot. So, like I said, you can use that for any of your situations. So then, like I said, I work on their body shape, angles, and then that's why I asked them, hey, now start thinking about the game, rather than just thinking here, hey, I need to play that central player and play out, can you read visual cues? And a lot of our players, that's where they need to learn about the game. It's all about, hey, tunnel vision, the ball's here, I'm just going to focus on here, rather than seeing the next part, the next layer, should we say. So that's why I was asking, hey, if you're an outside player and you see now the person in the middle, their body shape's now a little bit turned, and they're offering that support, can you read that? The defender's moved in behind to cover, that's when you can play that ball around them, rather than forcing it back, because a lot of our kids, or a lot of our players, when we get the ball, their first instinct is bang, straight back into pressure. And that's where we turn the ball over. So that's why I was trying to work in there. And like I said, you can use it as a 6 and an 8 or a 10. I don't know the team, that was Coach Richard's team. If it was my team, I would obviously be focusing on those players in those areas and trying to get them to understand that. Third part is where the team is going to be target players. I apologise for pushing them across. And then I put, if you notice the way I set it up was, that was one square, that was one square, well, that was one square, that was one square. And then all I did was I put cones underneath it, so that becomes the yellow. I didn't have to move any cones, I didn't have to move from one area to the next, everything was done in one area, where I could just smoothly transition through.